It's a CONCACAF Nations League night. I'm Andrew Wiebe, Rodney Wallace, the veteran, the Tico. The boys are World Cup bound. Let's go. Matt Doyle here as well.
So
the
hyped.
Final look we will get at the U.S. men's national team before those September friendlies that will lead us into the World Cup. Of course, the ultimate destination. We'll get into your lineups here in just a second. This is your watch-along show. We do not have the game. I cannot repeat that enough time. You cannot watch the game on this screen, but you can go to FS1. You can go to, I believe, TUDN as well. Or if you have streaming options to get those going, you can watch the U.S. in San Salvador, Estadio Cuscatlan. It is raining. It has been raining for much of the last few days. The field is very, very wet. Rodney says the field is great. We'll see how it plays. I'm curious to see the conditions the U.S. are in. But yeah, we're doing these all the way through the World Cup for the U.S. and Canada. So you've been tuning in on YouTube Live or Twitch. Thanks for being with us. And thank you for all the questions, all the prompts. That's what we're looking for. If you want stories from Rodney about whatever it might be, 2018 World Cup, his time in MLS, Esife, and the sharks in the water just off the beach that I refused to get in during the World Cup. We can
now we're
tell all
talking.
those stories.
Now
if
we're
you want to
talking.
get, if you want to get Doyle's takes on the
real
US,
life topics.
That's very real. I was
Real
almost
life.
dunked in those waters. We can do all that. So get in the comment section on Twitch, get in the comment section on YouTube, tweet at me, Andrew_Wiebe. We'll be monitored. We'll be having a good time. Should be fun tonight as the U.S. go to El Salvador in the CONCACAF Nations League. Let's take a look at those group standings here, just to give you a little context. These are not friendlies. Of course, you saw the U.S. with a 5-0 win against Grenada earlier, but El Salvador at the top, they've got a draw. They've got a win against Grenada. That's how they're on 4 points. The 3-1 win was back in April. The 2-2 draw was about 6 days ago. At this time, I believe, and Hugo Perez was not too happy with that. That's why you see 6 changes in the lineup for El Salvador today. But the U.S. with an opportunity to go top of the group. Of course, they're defending champions. Let's take a look at that U.S. lineup here, and Doyle, we'll get your thoughts on what Greg Berhalter has run out there. Got some first-choice guys here. Pulisic, Weah, Haji Wright gets his opportunity. We see Aronson in the midfield once again in that sort of attacking position. We think it's going to be the double pivot, but I'm curious your opinion on that. And then across the back line, basically what we'd expected with Walker Zimmerman out and Ethan Horvath gets his chance in goal. What are you thinking about this?
I think it is going to be the double pivot, and that's the thing that jumps out to me. It should jump out at everyone because for most of qualifying, really for most of the past year, Greg Berhalter has gone with a single pivot, and he actually said recently, like, look, we're making some changes because there were times when Tyler Adams wasn't really able to get it done just in terms of ball progression. So by going to that double pivot, having Yunus Musa deep with him, Musa ends up doing most of the ball progression work, getting the ball in the foot of guys like Pulisic, Aronson, and Weah. Aronson gets to play centrally, which I know he likes. I don't think that's his best spot, but he certainly was very good doing that against Morocco. So that's what I think it's going to end up looking like in this one. It's important for the U.S. to look compact, and then in the middle of defense, Aaron Long and Cameron Carter-Vickers, it's important for both of those guys to put in a good performance because they're on the fringes of national team pool. That I think they both have a good shot at getting in, so you want to have a strong performance here.
Need 4 center backs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
we're sort of like,
more
Cameron Carter-Vickers, do you rate him? Do you not? He just got sold for $10 million to a Champions League team. And people can say whatever they want about the Scottish Premier League, but like Celtic that's not a club that you don't like, oh, Celtic, oh, 10 million, no big deal. Like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of incredible where the U.S. has got. I mean, Brendan Aronson, we have a 21-year-old, 22-year-old midfielder worth $35 million that we're like debating whether he should start. When in your time, Costa Rica, U.S., what were the vibes like? Like when you saw the U.S. coming to San Jose, or you came to the U.S., or you were playing in the Gold Cup or whatever, what were you thinking when you saw the lineup, when you saw the squad that they had?
17.
Don't got to remind us,
Yeah.
Rodney. I was
Yeah.
there. Just reinforcement, just really driving it home. Yeah. We've got people in the YouTube chat. I hear all of you. Apparently, we've got some issues with Rodney's audio, so we're going to get that fixed for you. In the meantime, Doyle, we've got the US 11 here. Maybe I'll throw it out there. We'll go to the El Salvador 11 from Hugo Perez. So this is a big competition for them. Every opportunity to play the US is a big one for El Salvador. Getting to the octagonal was a big deal for them. And you see Hugo Perez make a bunch of changes. He's got 6 changes of the 11 that faced Grenada on the 8th. That was a 2-2 draw. That was a very disappointing result. For La Selecta, they had won 3-1 back in April against Grenada. A couple goals from Bonilla, who's back up top in this game as well. But 2 changes in that forward line. Kevin Reyes comes in. Jairo Henriquez comes in. In the midfield, Lava Verde stays, but Narciso Oyana is in. Christian Martinez in. And on the back line, just 1 change. Brian Tamacas in at right back. And then the goalkeeper changes. Mario Gonzalez into goal for Hugo Perez. But just generally, what do you think this means for El Salvador? And it seems like Hugo's time might be sort of waning. Not, thought it might be over after the octagonal, but the way he talks about it, it kind of seems like he's trying to leave on the right note, so to speak.
Yeah, the vibes aren't as good as they were this time last year, are they? And he's done so much for this program in such a short time. Like, they're competitive in a way that they haven't been in more than a decade. And part of it is talent. Like, I think they had a pretty fallow patch, and he's done a good job of getting some new and better players in there. But part of it is just the way they play the game. No matter whether they're playing at home against a Minnow or they're at the Azteca, they were out there, in qualifying, all the qualifying, trying to possess the ball, trying to use the ball to take teams apart. And he deserves a ton of credit for that. As for this game tonight, I imagine that they are not going to play scared at all. They certainly didn't against the U.S. both times in qualifying. They can leave themselves open to get pressed and to get countered. But I think I think Hugo's just a guy who'd rather go out on a shield, man. Like, if you're going to lose the game, if you're going to play against a team with superior talent, which the U.S. has, go play. Exactly, Rodney. Go play. Yeah.
Do you think they can play on this field tonight, Rodney? I sort of intimated that I thought it was going to be sloppy because it's been raining like crazy. It's not raining right now unless I can't see on the camera. By the way, FS1 again, 2DN if you want to watch the game. But you said this is a good surface.
I mean,
I think we lost Rodney here. Yeah, we will work to get him. We'll work to get him back as the anthem is playing in Estadio Cuscatlán. U.S. El Salvador again. I will just reinforce for this that you cannot watch it here. You can watch it with us. We will have Charlie Davies, we hope, in a little bit, and Rodney Wallace as well. Right now, Doyle, you and I are just holding it down. Here are your standings in the Nations League in Group D as it stands. El Salvador, 4 points, 2 games played, a draw and a win against Grenada. U.S., 3 points, of course, on that 5-0 win against Grenada. We saw Jesus Ferreira bag 4. And, Grenada at the bottom, but this is their sort of inaugural journey in the top group of the CONCACAF Nations League and really their first opportunity to have sustained competition of this level in a while now. I had a really good time talking to Shaw Reed-Joseph on the last show, U.S. Win, of course. But one noticeable absence there that the chat on YouTube has picked up on, Alex Roldan, not in this team, not in this squad, but in a team tonight, Doyle. In the starting lineup for the Seattle Sounders, there have been some, let's call them issues with the federation, between the players and the federation for El Salvador. And it seems like he decided he needed a little bit of a break, stayed back and suiting up for the Sounders. But, look, Hugo Perez kind of alluded to some of those things, as did his son, who's the coach of the U20s, and a really good piece I recommend you go check out from John Arnold, Getting CONCACAF. If you don't know about it, go subscribe to the newsletter. In fact, I highly suggest if you got some disposable income and you're a soccer nerd that you should just subscribe and pay the man, because the premium content I get from John is better than anything else I see around anywhere on CONCACAF. But Yeah, they said they're hoping to leave with changes made, that there are certain limitations when it comes to the club structure, the player structure, the support for the players, support for coaches, coaching education. They're just trying to move the needle a little bit and improve things. But they think the mentality of the players has gotten better as well. And I believe it is raining, Doyle. So we could be in for one. I see the ponchos out. I see the nice shine off the hair on the respective players. It's going to be a wet one, man. What do you expect from this game?
I expect it to be pretty sloppy. It's definitely raining. Our guy Michele is down there, and he's tweeting out that it had stopped about an hour before the game, and then it just started up again like 5 minutes ago. And I don't think. Look,
somebody's making a killing off the trash bag ponchos outside. Somebody was prepared. They're like, I'm selling. I got the blue. I got the green. We're ready to go.
Yeah. So the way I'm thinking about this, Wiebe, while you set up your trash bag poncho empire, is like everything the U.S. does for the next 6 months has to be aimed at the World Cup. How the U.S. does in a Nations League game doesn't matter in and of itself right now. It just doesn't. I'm glad it's not a friendly, but it doesn't matter. And the way this game is going to play out, torrential rain against a team outside the top 50 in the world standings, a team that is physically unimposing, like this is not going to have any bearing on how the U.S. plays in the World Cup. It is not a tune-up in that sense. Where it is a tune-up is in the level of intensity that these guys can bring to the game. Because one thing we know, you should know after watching this group go through qualifying, you should know after watching this group fail in qualifying 4 years ago, is that Central American teams, really teams from all over the region, when they play the U.S., they're up for it. They come out ready to, if they're not going to win, they are going to, give their all having lost. And the U.S. under Berhalter, really under Klinsmann too, struggled to match that. It struggled really hard to match that level of intensity. So if you're looking at this as a test for the U.S. ahead of the World Cup, it's within the scope of, can they match the intensity of the moment? Can they get used to doing that? And that is the most important thing for me to take away from this game for this team.
Sorry, I missed all that. I'm just working through sort of the margins on the trash bag ponchos.
Yeah.
You got to do a significant. No, I'm just messing with you.
It's all volume, Wiebe.
Exactly. You got to have the right supplier. It's a rainy night at Estadio Cuscatlán. We're getting ready for the kickoff here. High fives from Ethan Horvath to CCV, who's on. Big start for him against El Salvador. 6 changes for Hugo Perez's men. What's up to all the folks on Twitch? Just saw you all roll in. Happy to have you. Get in the comment section. If you've got questions, we want them. We will talk about literally anything. We're getting ready to pull in Charlie Davies. That man's played in some. Okay, get in here, Charlie. Let's go. He of traffic. What, are you coming from the U.S. Open? What's the deal, man?
Yeah.
Straight from Brookline.
I see Costa Rica in here too.
Not yet. That's in the back room. We're gonna get Rodney here in just 1 second, but we're preparing for kickoff. We're preparing for kickoff. So everybody, FS1, 2-day in. That's where you watch the game. We'll get it linked up for you. We're about to get this kicked off right now. Here it goes. I see the referee letting us know. Yeah, taking a look. Waiting, timing up his watch. And no, this is impressive. Oh, there it is. There's the whistle. CONCACAF Nations League off and running.
By the way, Wiebe, how do you like his style?
Which style? His style?
Yeah.
Well, I'm on the record, and again, groans from Doyle, that rain makes everyone just look a little bit cooler. Yeah. Like they just look more legit, soccer players, and I think people in general in athletic endeavors. So I'm here for that as well. If you got questions, hit us up on Twitch or on the YouTube chat. We got this one, and I'd love to hear your take on it, both you and Charlie and Doyle here. It's from Sean Steffen. It is on Brennan Aronson in this attacking midfield position. He's not a guy that wants to be on the ball a ton. How much does that matter in that position to you, Chuck?
In this game, not so much. But if we're talking about a World Cup, I think it does matter quite a bit because the ball comes to him in that position. He's got to control the tempo. England, it might be effective in that position because you're going to be defending most of the game. Let's be honest. And so when you're talking about the press,
Oh, that's a
counter-press,
hungry, bro.
Come on,
well,
man.
yeah,
England's a
he-
minnow now.
Wow.
Nations League and a World Cup for England, I think, is a little bit different, especially coming off a long season.
England's actually got a chance at winning the Nations League.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
Whoa,
Okay.
Daniel Gazdag out
But-
here just running laps on the
But I
three
will
lines.
say, against the Wales and the Iran, that position for the U.S. men's national team is vital in controlling possession in the attacking half of the field. That player has to control the tempo. That player has to be the link up between the midfield and the striker, whoever that will be. And so Brent Aaronson's phenomenal when it comes to the press and when it comes to making runs out of midfield, continuous movement. But where he needs to improve, exactly, working hard. But in terms of possession, getting on the ball, beating players 1v1, he needs to improve drastically.
Couple chances early here. Can I have we brought in Rodney? Can we bring in Rodney? Can I request Rodney?
No, Rodney's
Wallace?
still in Malibu.
He's
he's
stuck.
still-
He's
he's still in
stuck in
Malibu.
Purgatory. He's stuck in backroom purgatory. We're waiting for Rodney to get in. So Rodney, once we've got you in, I'll pull you right back in.
there
Couple
he
early.
is.
No, maybe. Oh, we lost him again. It's in and out.
Yeah.
It's in and out. Doyle, it's kind of I'd say a decent start for El Salvador here.
Yeah, for sure.
It looks like a
They've
quality
won
field,
most
no,
of the-
Doyle?
Yeah, I mean they it's a cow patch, right? This is what you kind of have to go through in CONCACAF sometimes. But this is what I was saying. It's not gonna, like, nothing about the way this game is played is going to resemble the World Cup except for the level of intensity. So can these guys come out here and match the intensity that El Salvador is bringing to the game? Through 3 minutes, the answer is no. But obviously it's pretty early.
A little bit of a press here for the U.S. in possession. The line's maybe 3/4 up the field before they let the goalkeeper just have a whack at it, try to recover the second ball and move on. Were you surprised? I was a little surprised to see Christian Pulisic start this game.
I'm not. I'm not at all, because if you look at the way that Greg Berhalter has kind of formulated this starting 11, Timothy Weah, I think, is right now, if the World Cup was to start today, he'd be your starting right winger. Christian Pulisic would be your starting left winger. The 9 is still undecided. Even though Jesus Ferreira is in pole position, it's not a position that you say, I am certain that Jesus Ferreira is my starter come World Cup time. You know, Timo Weah, considering Gio Reyna is not healthy, is your starter, and Christian Pulisic is your starter. So I like the fact that he said, you know what, to see what Haji Wright really looks like with the starting 11 in the World Cup on the road in El Salvador, it's a real test. It's a challenge. This is a good match to give me a real sense of what Haji Wright looks like. So I'm not at all surprised by that selection.
Feels like, based on the play so far, that it's going to be, can Haji Wright bring the ball down off a long ball from the center backs? Can he? I mean, it's a good feel when the ball spins in circles in a divot. That was good. Really enjoyed that.
It's a big game for Haji. He's got to show a little something in this one. The knock on him from Turkey is that he finds good chances, but he doesn't find many of them, and he doesn't really do anything else all that notably. Now, small sample size, just a year, about 2,000 minutes, but this is a chance to go out there and solidify your spot in the depth chart. So whether that's making deep runs and creating depth in behind the back line to sort of open up the pockets for Pulisic and Aronson, or whether it's winning the ball at the top of the box or just getting onto the end of crosses or something like that. He's got to show something. It can't just be a penalty kick from this camp for him.
No, it can't. And I'm sure Rodney has a lot of experience playing on pitches like this at Yankee Stadium, so maybe he could kind of break it down for us.
Oh, we lost him again. This is rough. Somebody's streaming something. Got to get the kids off Netflix or whatever, Disney Plus, whatever it might be at home.
They only have dial up.
That goes.
Only have dial up in Malibu.
All right, set piece for the U.S. If you see Tyler Adams, do you see his kit? He's half brown, half white at this point already. 6 minutes in.
I wouldn't say it's that bad.
Did you see it? The entire back of his kit is just mud.
Yeah, he looks like he just finished a Tough Mudder.
Yeah, it's this is going to be a sloppy one. This is going to test him. Christian Pulisic with the service in, doesn't beat the first man, headed out. What do you think Greg can reasonably take away from this game outside of Haji? Like, is there a player? Is there any sort of tactical nuance, or is this just literally an intensity test for these guys?
I would say there's a number of things you can take out of this game. Yes, Haji Wright in particular, because we haven't seen too much of him, especially in this environment. This is a real CONCACAF environment. So if you're ever going to get a test and you didn't get it in World Cup qualifying, throw him in Nations League in El Salvador on the road. Yeah, you'll get an idea of how they can adapt to challenges and hold up play in this scenario. It's very difficult. Can you do it? Then you should be able to do it in a World Cup. That's the idea. In Aaronson's case, Weston McKennie's that position. Yunus Musa and Tyler Adams are there, but this is another maybe a test for him to see, can you be a little bit more dynamic with the way you play, multidimensional. It's not so much, one-dimensional out of midfield. We know what he can do off the ball. We know what a great defender he is out of midfield, the press. But in possession, what can you offer this team? I think it's a challenge to him to see if he can do that. I mean, I think with Leeds United, he's going to be asked to do that as well. It's a little bit more north and south at Leeds United, considering how they're going to play. But if he can do it here or show glimpses of it, then I think that just helps his Greg Berhalter in his way of thinking when he's playing in the World Cup group stage. And then Cameron Carter-Vickers, I would say this is a big test for him. I know it's not the end-all be-all because him and Aaron Long, they're not going to be the partners, but how does he move? How does he play in this scenario? It's not the easiest to play out of the back as a center back with this type of field condition, but how does he play out of the back? I think those are all big questions, and it'll be interesting to see how he deals with it.
Charlie, if you had to pick the roster right now, right, isn't Cameron Carter-Vickers going to Qatar? Isn't he fourth on the depth chart at center back right now? If you figure if it's Zimmerman, and then 2 is probably Richards if he gets healthy and he's expected to be, and then 3 is probably Long. Who's number 4? It's Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Eric Palmer Brown.
I would have said
I
would have said Eric Palmer Brown would have been ahead of Cameron Carter-Vickers, but in that first match, I think Cameron Carter-Vickers showed better. And so I think he leaped Eric Palmer Brown. And then you throw Eric Palmer Brown had some injury issues. So, that doesn't help you at all either. So I would say, yes, he is going. And you throw in the 26 World Cup slots, that also is a benefit for Cameron Carter-Vickers if he was on the bubble.
I really hope it's 26.
I think it's going to be.
Everything
since COVID started has been.
I think 26. It has to be. I mean, even just for if you're just thinking about player safety and the quality of matches, 26 and 5 subs is just a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, especially the quality of matches, given what we saw from the Costa Rica game today and the Peru Australia game yesterday.
Save the shade for Rodney whenever he restarts his computer and gets back here.
Vamos, Ticos.
Yeah,
Rodney knows it was
I called it exactly to a T. There's not many things I'm like really proud of. That one is like
if you're talking about going on a limb for Keylor Navas, that is the
no. I'm not going on a limb for Keylor Navas. I'm going on a limb for Costa Rica as a whole and how they played and how they were going to win that game.
For CONCACAF teams, for CONMEBOL teams, federations on equal standing, I must say. Do you think that Brendan Aronson, do you think some of this experimentation is to see, and I don't know that we had thought about this a ton before, maybe I guess, El Salvador in the opener of the octagonal was really his first tryout in that attacking midfield position. Is this a possible bench move? Because normally when I think Aronson off the bench, I'm thinking winger, but maybe it's a hey, let's see if it can work a little bit at this attacking midfield position just to change things up in a different way.
I would say yes, because you also have to look at the players he would be subbing in for. Weston McKennie's going to be playing 90 minutes. Tyler Adams is going to be playing 90 minutes. Yunus Musa, on the other hand, we've seen him fatigue in games. We've also seen the lack of productivity in the final third. And so if you're talking about midfielders who, and don't get me wrong, Yunus Musa is one of my favorite players, especially the way he plays, his technical ability, how he can dribble by multiple defenders and break into the attacking third. But if there's anything that we've ever seen in the World Cup qualifying campaign, it's when he does get through to the final third, there's a lack of end product, whether it's the final ball or goal scoring. And so he is typically the one who tires out because he is using his legs to break pressure. He is moving up and down and in between the lines. I'd say the most out of those two. And I think the team relies on him to be more of an offensive conduit. So he would be your sub. If you want to look at other players in that position, Brent Aronson's a perfect opportunity. Gio Reyna's another one. If Gio Reyna's not starting on the right, if he's not 100% fit and Timo Weah's your guy, that I would assume Gio Reyna's your next guy in that position.
So I understand what Charlie's saying. I have a different interpretation of it. I think it's less about him coming in from Musa and playing as an 8, and it's more like playing as like just 10, right? Like this is a 4-2-3-1 with Musa deeper as part of a double pivot next to Tyler Adams. I think if Musa has to be subbed, and Charlie's right, I think I don't expect Musa to be able to go 90 minutes every game. I think it's De La Torre who ends up coming in for Musa, whereas Aronson is essentially playing as Weston McKennie's backup, and part of that is the formation change. Part of that is having Musa in a deeper role rather than the sort of side-by-side number 8s that we saw throughout qualifying. It makes sense. I think it left the U.S. exposed a few times against both Morocco and Uruguay, just because the rotations weren't great, especially in transition. So like that's why you try it out before the World Cup itself. But like all of it sort of makes sense within the scope of like what this group of players is good at and what they might be lacking a little bit. And so I don't mind it at all. I'm hoping that Musa and Adams, or if it's De La Torre and Adams, I'm hoping that they could work out their defensive responsibilities so they don't end up leaving spots in the middle of the field, like the ones that both Morocco and Uruguay almost scored through.
So we're 14 minutes in on this stream right now. It's a slip and slide. Like, I mean, this is like the sort of thing, when you're a kid and it rains and you go outside and you take a running head start and you slide about 20 feet in the mud. Like, Christian Pulisic looked like he fell in I don't even know how to describe what that was. Like a gash in the ground that was about 2 feet wide. I
believe golfers call that a divot, Wiebe. Are you a golfer?
Yeah, no, I am. Yeah, I am. I actually I've played in conditions like this year. That's how addicted I am. But what do you think? Worst field? This field or the one that we saw last night in Honduras that Canada had all sorts of trouble on as well? That field seemed to have large puddles and lakes. El Salvador free kick, by the way, 15 minutes in here. Good opportunity for them to serve a ball into the box. Ethan Horvath is currently organizing. We're about 15 minutes in on the stream that we're watching, folks, and I see people talking about it. It's not play-by-play. So, look, if you want us to talk about something, we'll talk about literally anything. Just drop it in the chat right now. But, yeah, this is not play-by-play. You can watch on FS1 and tune in.
And Doyle, just to build off of what you said, wouldn't you have liked to see Luca De La Torre and Yunus Musa play together and see what that looked like?
Yeah, I mean, kind of
in this game. in terms of like, okay,
Yeah.
they're expected to drop deep. Those two players can dribble out of pressure, who can break down teams, comfortable in possession. You know, you can allow Christian Pulisic, Haji Wright, and Timo Weah to kind of just stay high, because
Right.
those two can play off of each other and play off the wingers, and Haji Wright just occupy those two center backs.
Yeah, I mean, it's really appealing going forward. My worry would be a lack of ball winning from those two guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Musa can do it when he is paying enough attention to be in the right spot, but he's still a kid, and
Right.
he ends up, kind of chasing butterflies through midfield sometimes. Whereas like, De La Torre, he's really good in a lot of ways. He doesn't have a ton of bite. If it was a year earlier, right? If we weren't on the verge of the World Cup, I'd say hell yeah. Like, let's see it right now. But like, given how close it is, man, we're 5 months away, boys.
We're not just 5 months. We are what? We're about
5 months in a week.
About 255 minutes away.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
that's
right.
If you're Greg Berhalter, that's how I would be thinking about it. And obviously, you're going to add in some, some training time as well, but not much. Not much. I mean, this is one of your last competitive opportunities to see what Haji Wright can do, to see what CCV can do, to see what Aronson in the 10 looks like, and what this double pivot that seems to be a fairly recent sort of trend for the U.S. looks like. So, yeah, I mean, every moment counts, and that's where you get it could be a little frustrating to like look at this field, to look at some of the conditions and wonder, what exactly can you get out of it from sort of a tactical level. But I mean, even if it is just the mental side, that is a test that the players are going to be under in Qatar and on a different surface, but the pressure, the stakes, like, it's not replicated here, but it might be for some of these guys that are thinking, can I get on a plane? It's not guaranteed for me. We have a question from Michael D. Dwyer. Also, I liked the Gravedigger could have trouble winning a monster truck rally on this field. That was pretty good stuff there in one of the chats. But Michael Dwyer, Charlie, what was the worst surface weather combo you've ever played in for the national team?
Oh, for the national team. There's not one that comes to mind. I felt like all the pitches we played on were pretty good. I mean, there was none that you were like, oh my God, this is atrocious. We can't play here. So I have nothing to say about the CONCACAF teams I got to play against in the surfaces that we played on. So
they have the turf in the old Saprissa.
Yeah, I played on turf in Sweden, so and worse turf, and so
really
should have seen what that. New Hampshire's just dog.
I grew up in New Hampshire, so
that's what I'm saying. Just trash.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it all. I've seen it all. So I nothing kind of jumped out to me to say they're trying to level the playing field here.
Free kick US. I think it's Mother Nature that's trying to level this playing field. It's been raining cats and dogs for days.
I'd say the locker
by
rooms,
the goalkeeper.
The locker rooms were for sure a big difference. The amenities, hotels, locker rooms. Those were the greatest.
Got so you could identify mold quickly, huh? Is that what you're trying to say here?
If we I'll never forget when we played in Copa America in Venezuela. There is a hotel we stayed in, and the bugs were massive. Were absolutely the bugs of nightmares, and they were all you had to sleep with like a tent over your bed, like it was like you were on a safari sleeping in the woods, and there were bugs everywhere. I was like, okay, this is real. And that was supposed to be nice, like Copa America. Other than that, not too bad.
Dang. Oh. Yo, it is. There's some moments out here that are getting physical. It's getting physical. Tyler got a little mega on there though, on him. It's a nice little whoop.
Don't do that to Tyler like that.
I didn't do it to him. That wasn't me.
Oh, Tamakis, yeah.
All right. corner kick, El Salvador, still 0-0, 21st minute. What's up to all those watching on Twitch, everybody on YouTube Live? See
I
you
have
in the
a
comment
question.
section.
I have a question for both of you and everybody on Twitch and Twitter and comment section. Are you happy with the U.S. men's national team right now? I know there's some injuries, but are you happy with them? Considering where we were in 2018, would you say I'm happy with where they are right now?
I can start that.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly, yes.
Okay.
Undoubtedly, yes. I don't know how you could contort your brain to say no to that question, given everything that we went through the 2018 qualification cycle and in the about year and a half, 2 years afterwards. I remember doing not shows like this, but getting together to do shows, post-game shows, in sort of the the post-failure era, and you just didn't. You didn't know where this was going, man. You didn't know what our direction was. It didn't feel like we had sort of a thread, an idea, a sense of leadership, a sense of who the leaders on the field were going to be. And I think we have a decent idea about that now. I mean, one of the things that really encourages me is just the age of the squad.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of players that are just at sort of the beginning of their careers or just entering their primes. And I think that's hugely positive for the future of the U.S. program. And then, guys that I think have come of age at the right time, like a Walker Zimmerman or a Matt Turner. So I'm hugely encouraged. Just having a build up to a World Cup, and then also knowing that next one's going to be here. And by the way, on Thursday we find out where exactly it will be when we say here. If you're not excited about that, what are you doing, man? Like what could possibly get you excited?
Doyle?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the U.S. team. Like, it's not perfect. I guess I'm not satisfied. I still feel like there's more and better to come. But they qualified. I think they played some good soccer as they did so. They battled injuries. They battled all different kinds of adversity. I think they have a clear style of play that I like. I like the style of soccer that they're trying to play, and like I admire the fact they're trying to do that. And the fact that they're as young as they are and as exciting as they are, yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Charlie?
Yeah, I'm happy. I mean, but like Doyle, there's a level of expectation and satisfaction. And so if we were to be satisfied with where they are now, that doesn't sound right or feel right.
Yeah.
Because, even before 2018, you're thinking, okay, 2010, solid World Cup. 2014, solid World Cup. Okay, 2018, we want to see progress. Okay, no World Cup. But that doesn't mean you set the expectations or the level of expectation so much lower because you didn't qualify for 2018. It's almost, okay, we are where we're supposed to be, but with this quality in this group, they should be doing more, and we should expect more because we should not settle for third in CONCACAF. We should not settle for, they're all young and the average age is around 23 years old, and it's all about the 2026 World Cup. We know that, but they should still be doing better. And we should still expect more, because what's the point of being in America if playing for the U.S. men's national team if you're not trying to win every game? You're not trying to be the best.
Wait, so Charlie, then
we got a bicycle kick to the dome here. Mm-hmm. Tim Weah going for it.
I think he's okay. He's got Charlie.
Yeah.
What do you think this team's ceiling is then? If everything clicks for them in November in Qatar, and if everybody's healthy, what is this team's ceiling?
They get out of the group for sure. No doubt. They get out of the group. And they could still finish first. I know a lot of people are like, there's no way they can beat England. Yeah, there is. I mean, we saw Nations League. They're beatable.
Last time the U.S. was in a group with England, U.S. finished first.
But this England team is much better than that 2010 England team. I would say, there's a lot of hope because of the ceiling. I'm not saying right now, I don't think they beat England. No chance. But the ceiling, the potential in the next 6 months, because of the growth, the player growth from each player and the continuity. And I just think everyone's pretty okay with the system in terms of all the players, that they definitely have a lot of potential to not only get out of the group, but top the group. And then I could see them winning that next game in the knockout round, because you're not playing France. And really, if you're playing France or Germany, Belgium, I would say, it's a tough ask. But Holland, Denmark, I like my chances if this group is playing at their best, and the number 9 position is a little bit more clear come the World Cup and the left center back spot.
Man, you're really high on England. That's what I took from that.
Yeah, because I don't think they're playing their best right now. I know it's Nations League is not the World Cup, and this group of players, I think if we can expect anything for the World Cup, England is going to be on. They the Euros, they did incredible, but the World Cup, that's what they're all gunning for. They will be all fit, in form, and focus. I think Nations League, they've taken a backseat a little bit because they're like, it's the Nations League, and it doesn't really matter too much for us. Like, we're focused on the World Cup and we're focused on the holidays. So I know I'm making a lot of excuses for England, but let's be realistic. They're going to be in much better form, and the concentration levels are going to be a little bit higher than they are right now in Nations League. I think the success. I think the success has gotten to them, to be honest, for this Nations League. They've had a lot of success with this young group, and I think this is a wake up call so it benefits them for the World Cup. This lack of success now.
Charlie believes them more than the English do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can't be that naive to think, they're going to play at this same level where Hungary beat them.
Charlie, it's coming home.
No, we're going to beat
what
them.
You're saying is it's coming home. Is that it's coming home? That's what you're saying.
Don't
repeat it. It's coming home.
Don't go that far.
We have a question in here that we've got. What are your opinions on Griffin Yao from DC United? That means that our Twitch stream has reached Belgium. All the way to Belgium we go. Here, let me ask this question of you guys.
Yeah.
We'll start with you, Doyle. So we're talking about the ceiling for the U.S., what the U.S. could be in Qatar, as is 0-0 in El Salvador, Stadio Cuscatlán, 28 minutes in. We've got an injury, a little time to talk, as we have been. Again, any comments, topics, anything you want, get in the Twitch or the YouTube live stream here. What is the biggest differentiator or situation that either needs to change or improve at the club level for these guys to raise the ceiling? Maybe that's Christian Pulisic finding a club where he's an every game starter and is coming to the World Cup on the back of repeated performances and sort of pressure to be the man. Maybe that is Tyler Adams' club situation. What club situation, as we get ready for the summer transfer window, are you watching the closest when it comes to this U.S. team?
That's a really good question. I think
maybe Gio Reyna's health is the biggest one. It's not a transfer issue, but just his ability to play sustained soccer.
It might be that, that's a shout. Tyler Adams maybe winding up in a team that plays actual soccer instead of like crash bang energy drink football, and asks him to pass a little bit just so he could get a little more comfortable setting tempo and spreading the field with his passing. That's one as well. And the third one is just like, do we have a number 9 playing at a good level who's hot? Can we write a hot center forward into the World Cup? I think those are the 3.
I'm glad you didn't say go. I'm glad you didn't say goalie. I'm really because there's a lot of people tied up with the Zach Steffen at Manchester City, and I know he's looking for a loan. Like he's known this.
I just read at The Athletic that it's very unlikely that he goes out on loan.
Yes, but he's been looking at getting a loan.
Okay.
Matt Turner is going to Arsenal, and I think there's a less than 5% chance he goes on loan. Like that's an opportunity to train at Arsenal, be the number 2, and learn from Ramsdale, push him in certain cases. Maybe there's an injury, maybe there's a suspension, he gets some game time, and he can stay in the goal just by his performances. But he knows, Greg Berhalter said, I value that level of intensity in that environment in training over playing consistently in MLS. Now, that was throughout this process. Maybe in the World Cup he feels different, but that's why Matt Turner made the move. Yes, it's Arsenal, and you're getting a significant pay raise, but at the same time, it's about, this will give me the best shot to play as the number one of the U.S. men's national team. You can't use the Zach Stevens playing at Man City and training as an excuse anymore. That takes that out. So from his perspective, all right, I'll be able to start. Ooh, how'd you write?
Somebody's ahead of us.
But,
got to put that on frame.
Yeah.
Put that on frame.
Yeah. It's a good ball from Christian. 1v1 situation. He takes a quick second touch to go to his left and just doesn't put it on frame. I liked everything about it, the intention, the spacing, but the execution was off. And that's fine if he bangs 3. Like Jesus Ferreira. If you bang 3 or 4, okay, you can live with that. But in the World Cup, that might be your only chance, especially if you're playing a team like England, Wales, Iran in certain cases, low block, defending, World Cup. A lot of the intensity is crazy. The pressure is crazy. You get one chance. That has to be on goal.
Christian Pulisic down, holding his midsection. Well, that's one way of putting what he's holding. Let's see what happened. Oh boy! Oh, I got a swinging cleat. Where a baseball player might wear a cup.
I think it was a little bit higher, which I think he's lucky in that case.
Fortunate for him, just to take it right in the
right
in the lower intestine. All right. Yeah. Give us a Serginho Dest question. I see. Should Serginho Dest change his club situation? Apparently, I mean, who God knows. But
I would say no. You're at Barcelona. You're at Barcelona under Xavi. He's already improved.
Yep.
With just the idea of, okay,
how much time is he going to get with Xavi?
He was starting. He was starting before the injury. Like at worst, he's going to get 20. Yeah, he did. But he did earn it. He did earn it, which was great. I thought that he was playing the best soccer of his life right before this latest injury. I hope he doesn't leave. I hope he stays with Barcelona.
Yes, because a player with all the quality that he possesses needs to be pushed. I don't want him settling. And where he needed to improve the most is the defensive side of the game, because he's playing at Ajax. They dominate possession. They dominate the Eredivisie. He goes to Barca, and yes, they dominate possession, but it's a different game. You have to defend. You're playing against super talented teams: Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Villarreal, Valencia, Sevilla. You have to defend. And I think Xavi was saying, great, you're great in possession, but if you don't defend, you're not playing in my team. And he pushed him to get better, and Serginho rise to the challenge. He said, I'll meet your challenge, and I'll meet your expectations, and I'll earn the starting position, which he did. I love that. You need to stay in that environment, in that atmosphere. So Serginho Dest is our starting right back. Done deal. It is signed, sealed, delivered. But if we want him to be at his best,
El Salvador.
Oh boy.
Crossing from the right side. I'm a little bit
You're
behind.
Saying who's advanced? You guys
pick
are
up the second ball. No pressure from what the hell just happened? No pressure from Reggie. Must have deflected off him.
Yeah, I think it deflected off of Reggie. He was defended 1v2. Nah. Yeah. And Horvath is just rooted. Thank God this isn't a World Cup qualifier.
That's Alexander Larin who has the goal there. It appears off the deflection, or is it?
Wiebe,
yeah, it's Larin. Yep.
Yeah, Wiebe, I would say this: El Salvador are very predictable in the way they play. Larin is left-footed, solamente. That is all he has. If you're Reggie Cannon in this situation, you close down the opportunity to serve the ball with your left foot. He's too far off. He gave him the cross.
I don't think that deflected.
I don't think that deflected. I think that's just.
I
a
don't.
goal.
That was just a.
I think
that
that's
was
just a
shot into an
colossal blunder from
just
Horvath.
a shot into an empty net from an angle. He's expecting the cross, and he sets up in the mud pit. There's no other way to put it. He gets set up in the mud pit in his own 6, and he just quicksands it. He just does not move a muscle.
I don't blame that on Horvath. I blame that on Cannon. But Horvath, it's a difficult situation because what keepers is standing on his near post like that at that position? Maybe he's a step closer, but yeah, I take that on the right back to say, I'm going to close down your left foot. You are not beating me with your left foot.
1-0 at a muddy Cuscatlan. We've got bicycle kick clearances. We've got goals from the left back directly off Schross. Like, we got it all right now. Here we go. Can the U.S. create some opportunities? Can they win second balls? It seems like second balls is going to be it's going to be a big part of this one. That midfield is torn to shreds. Wow.
Yeah, I'm rewatching that, Charlie. I gotta disagree. I mean, Cannon could have
It's
done
on.
better.
It's on both of them. 100%.
It's 98% of that is on Horvath. You gotta be closer to your near post there. Like, you cannot leave it open for a goal from the freaking end line. Like that's terrible goalkeeping.
That's rough too, because Sean John in these against Uruguay had himself a match. And if you're talking about their goalkeeper, in some ways I was thinking just before that happened, honestly, when you get any opportunity you get on the national team is a special one. You got to take it. But for guys like Haji, for guys like Horvath, maybe you look at like that game in Austin against Grenada, against an opponent that's not as good on a pitch that isn't this. You're like, dang, I would have liked that opportunity. Maybe I get 4 goals in that game. If you're Horvath, you're playing in a rainstorm at Cuscatlan, you walking around in mud. Let's take a look at the goal if you're watching with us. We can't give you the game live, but we can show you the highlight from Twitter. Let's just take a look at it here. And Charlie, there's the celebration. Cuscatlan, the poncho business booming in San Salvador. Just absolutely just raking them in. What the margin is on that, we don't know yet. But did we miss that? I wonder if we missed a goal here. Maybe we get it here in a second. But this dude's a legend, by the way. This costume, legendary. That man has put some savings into it. Okay, well, you have the cross that comes across. Bonilla tracks it down. Cannon's with Bonilla, but then Bonilla drops off. Yeah, Cannon. I mean, what is Horvath doing? Here's a good angle. Could he close down? He's pretty static there.
And he's 3 steps out of position, and he doesn't even move. Like, that's really bizarre goalkeeping.
Any changes in your opinion on the goalkeeping there, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, he should have done better. There's no doubt, but I'm not placing all the blame on him. That's for sure.
I agree.
Watching
it live, my first thought,
watching it live,
my first thought is that's really just a lot of time given in that position. Yeah, he cheats. Oh man, this is tough all around.
But I'll go to the defending. Reggie Cannon, you're dropped off. It's a left back. He's not going to beat you 1v1 dribbling. He's all left foot. Force him to his right. Close down the space. Why are you 2 steps away from him? That to me is just poor defending. And I'm not trying to bail out Horvath and make an excuse for him. Yes, he should be in a better position as a keeper. That should not happen. But the defending should be better. No doubt.
Yeah, we got some agreement on the Twitch chat side. What's up to everybody watching with us on Twitch? We appreciate you. We love you. Get in the comments section. Anything you have to say, we're either willing to discuss, agree with, or dismiss outright. We're prepared to do that. I am prepared to say that you are dead wrong. Right now, 1-0 El Salvador over the U.S. Whew. Not the shining moment. Do we have other than the Haji Wright chance? Do we have a clear-cut chance for the U.S. So far?
When Weah bicycle kicked that dude's head.
Yeah, no.
That was tough, man. He truly connected there. It's a test. It's a test for the U.S. Mental test just as much as physical right now. What do you think Greg's thinking?
I don't think he's panicked at all. I think this is a case where he's thinking about halftime subs. You know, Luca Della Torre, and you know,
should we try to bring Rodney in? Honors? What should we?
Is he back from his boat?
He's been in purgatory. We've sent him off to purgatory. It's just nothing but white lights everywhere, Rodney. Just
Malibu's been struggling.
Just walk through the lights, bro. Just walk.
It's the ocean. It's really the ocean. It's blocking the connection. I'm sorry, guys. But
yeah,
hey, no, honestly, I'm going to let you guys know that I'm stepping out of this chat because I'm not dealing with the internet going on and off. But I love you all. I hope the US fixes what's going on. This field is terrible.
Yeah, before you go,
but,
or do you think the U.S. should
actually
be happy
right
with where they
now,
are?
I'm on right now.
All right, good. Do you think the U.S. should be happy with where they are? I think he's done. He's out.
Oh, that's it.
He jinxed it.
Cut
yeah.
skis.
Done.
It was working great pre-show, and then the moment we tried to bring him on.
Yeah, he's out. He gone.
Oh man.
Sometimes it's like that.
It is like that sometimes. You can't control that the megabytes per second at all times.
Yeah.
43 minutes approaching halftime. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, probably a little puzzling, a little frustrating if you're Greg Berhalter. Just trying to get through it, trying to get something out of it, and trying to keep everybody healthy. That's also what I've been thinking about a little bit.
I instantly got to, as soon as I saw how this pitch was playing, I instantly got to, I just hope nobody gets hurt from this game. Like that's all I want here from the second half. Obviously it'd be nice if the U.S. get a couple of goals and find a way to win this one. And, you know, maybe Haji has himself a breakout, maybe, you know, Pulisic shows up, but whatever. I just want this whole team to come out of this with no injuries. That's where I'm at with this game.
We can all think that, but I'll tell you right now, as a player, you're not thinking about you go down a goal, you're like, oh no, it's not going down like this. And you extend yourself because you're saying we got to get back in this and the pressure's on now. So I would expect a reaction at halftime. Greg Berhalter's probably going to make some changes, but you're saying we're coming here to get a win. We're not coming down here to waste our time. The whole reason for playing a Nations League is to win these games. And it's a difficult environment. It's a test. It's a challenge, but we gotta come together and get 3 points.
Noah's been hitting us up, and we apologize, Noah, for missing you, man. That's I'm blaming producing Anders for that, not me. He only put it in my ear 3 times, and I forgot. Noah wants to know what we do if there's not a definitive number 9 by tournament time.
I'll defer to Charlie on that one.
Easy fix. You put Timo Weah there, especially if he's playing. If Timothy Weah is playing consistently with Lille, that's your answer. Given that Jesus Ferreira has cooled off and he's not playing this well, because if the World Cup was to start today, I think Jesus Ferreira is your number 9, whether you like it or not. I think that's who's going to be playing. Greg Berhalter.
Can I just say I actually wouldn't dislike that. Like, he is by far our best option right now, and
I think a lot of people are not sure of that. Just hearing a lot of people talk about
who's a better option right now. Right. This second, Charlie. Not like, well, if his form dips, well,
No.
yada, yada,
At this moment, he's your 9. He's your
Yeah,
starting 9.
that's
But
it.
but
Like,
people but
that
but
doesn't mean
people
I have
aren't
to think
satisfied with that.
that
And
he's
people
like
don't, yes.
the end all be all. But
Right.
he's a very good young player.
Yes. But at the moment, that is not giving people hope. At the moment. If you had to say that's who your starting number 9 is, people aren't like, yay, we've got it.
Charlie, why was there so much hope for Ricardo Pepi last year, who was objectively playing not as good for the same team?
Because
like Ferreira's been
because of his ceiling's higher in the way he plays the game. Jesus Ferreira is very poor.
Do you think that?
Yes, I do. Jesus Ferreira is very poor right now, considering how good he is with his involvement and checking to the ball and scoring goals. But hold up play is very poor if you're playing into the air to him to bring it down with a center back. Very poor. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. Right now, Jesus Ferreira does not have a great hold up game. You can play to his feet, and if he's getting bumped from behind, big center backs, you can't rely on your center forward to hold up the ball. That is so important in that position. So important. You're talking about in the World Cup. If there's a time where you're under pressure, maybe Wales and Iran decide to press you, and they're very tough to break down for whatever reason. You have to play it up top to your striker, who then has to hold it up. And then you could have Christian Pulisic, Timo Weah, Gio Reyna, Brendan Aronson, Weston McKennie, Yunus Musa, whoever it is playing at the time, run off of him. You need that. And it's not every time, but that could be the difference of a win or you're out of the first round of the World Cup. It's that simple. And right now, he is not good at doing that.
He's better than Pepi, though.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he
nope.
is.
Nope. Absolutely not. And I'll tell you what.
Do you think Pepi should have been in this camp? I know that he's like, they gave him a break. Maybe he didn't warrant it, given that he didn't score a goal for months and months and months in Germany. We could talk all day about whether that was the right move for him or not. Do you think he should have been in the camp because of the limited time we're talking about?
No.
By the way, it's halftime.
Yes, I would say no.
1-0 El Salvador. We know that. You would say no.
I would say no because he played poorly. He didn't earn it. Yes. Is he still top 4 on the depth chart, in my opinion? Yes. But what precedent would you be setting if you called him in when he was below average? And I don't care how good you are. We've seen it with Drogba. We've seen it with Rooney. We've seen it with the top world-class strikers. If you don't have confidence, Fernando Torres is a perfect example. No matter how good you are, how gifted you are, if you have zero confidence, you're useless as a striker. To be honest, you're useless. Ricardo Pepi, as good as he was with the U.S. men's national team, as I think you talk about a year of growth, he's been phenomenal. But with zero confidence and a move to Europe and the adjustment, he just hasn't done it. Nothing's clicked for him. It's not the right time to call him in. You can say you want to give him a break or whatever. He didn't earn it. Jesus Ferreira took his opportunities, and he's deserved it, and he's playing. But I think if you're talking about upside and potential, Ricardo Pepi still has a bigger upside than Jesus Ferreira, in my opinion. And that's why he got a $20 million move in Jesus Ferreira. And I don't want this to come out the wrong way, is still with FC Dallas and re-sign with FC Dallas because FC Dallas are like, oh, we can keep him. And the interest wasn't as big with Jesus Ferreira as it was with Ricardo Pepi. And you still have, and as great as Jesus Ferreira has been in MLS, there's a reason why people are still like, oh, I want to see Haji Wright. Oh, I want to see Daryl Deacon. I want to see Matthew Hoppe. And I want to see all these players because they don't think his upside is that great, that they think this is his peak. And that's the honest truth.
Reports from the game say that Ferreira and McKennie have stayed on the field and are warming up during halftime, and it looks like they're coming in.
Good.
So Haji Wright might have gotten a very short run out here. I think suffice it to say that if all he gets out of this camp is 100 minutes or so, and a couple of missed chances.
Yeah.
Whew, that's rough for him.
Yep.
That's rough for him.
Disappointing.
Yeah. And look, the knock on him in Turkey is that he doesn't really do much. He scores, he finds good chances. He doesn't find a lot of them. Did a nice job of putting them in the back of the net. But other than that, he doesn't really do much. And honestly, that's what we've seen from him in his 3 appearances so far. And you could caveat it a little bit with like, well, he came on in the second half of the first 2, and this one, the game's an absolute mess. And I'm actually sympathetic to that. But if he was going to claim the job, he
didn't do that.
Yeah, he needs to show us more.
He's just part of the squad behind Ferreira right now.
Yeah,
who's gonna be in form, and that goes to what Greg's saying about hot hand. Throw it out there for the Twitch chat, for the YouTube live chat, for you guys. What changes should be made at halftime? Well, seems like we might find out here in terms of Weston McKennie as well as Jesus Ferreira. You think Ferreira is a pretty obvious one on for Haji Wright if indeed that is the change. It's not just a warm up. And then Weston, you think they go back to the MMA?
Yes, I do.
You think you can move Aronson over to a wing position and have Weston come in? Maybe they decide we don't want to leave Christian out there after his lower intestine is probably pretty sore right now.
Yeah, I mean that's always a possibility. But Aronson didn't help himself in that central position in that first half, and so you always think about strikers. How did they work? What was their work rate? Right? Like what do they do defensively? How did they shape the press and make play predictable behind them? How was their movement? Well, Haji Wright had a great opportunity and didn't put it on target. So, if we're going to be as critical as we are with Jesus Ferreira, then Haji Wright failed. He didn't show enough with the opportunities that he had, and that's the bottom line. So, that things can change in the next 6 months. And I say that about Jordan Pfolk. If he made a move to a bigger league and he started to produce, still producing at the same rate he did in Switzerland, and you start to see a little bit more to his game, he's going to get a call up again. It's that simple because you're in form and you're producing before World Cup. You're going to get a call into camp. But I think Haji Wright did not do himself any favors.
Just want to say what's up to the folks in the Twitch chat. Sazzy, I see you, man. I don't know if that's how I pronounce your name, but you've been giving some good stuff to us on here. He thinks Pepe and Ferreira should both be in the squad. How many strikers we think Greg brings to Qatar?
Like,
if you're
straight up nines,
straight nines, like.
Well, if it's 26, I think he brings 4.
4.
Who would the 4 be? If you're saying Timo Weah is the other guy, wouldn't it be like 3 at most? And then Weah
like
could move in there?
I'm counting Weah as one of the people who can play a 9.
Okay, so
it's not just
Ferreira.
It sounds
like you would
nines.
say Pepe, and then it's just it's a grab bag between like Haji, Daryl DK if he can come back in the championship and get back at it. Could Josh Sargent work his way back in there? I mean, Norwich got relegated, so they're going to be
anything's possible. Really, I mean, how many times have we seen people just come out of the woodwork in 6 months of play? Really.
Wirichin, what's up, man? He's asking us about Pulisic and the U.S. starting to adapt without Pulisic. Like, how would they play without him? How does pulling Christian out of the lineup in a World Cup match change things for you, Doyle?
Man, if Gio's healthy, you just take Pulisic out and you put Gio in a left winger and have him do the same exact stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Gio will come back a little bit further, and he's better on the ball deeper than Christian. He's not great at those sort of box arriving goal scoring runs that Christian's so good at. But like Christian often, when playing for the U.S., doesn't like to do that. He feels the weight of that number 10, and so he'll drop deeper than he should. So I think it actually ends up being a pretty intuitive switch if Gio Reyna is available. If it's not Gio Reyna, then I think it's probably Aronson. And look, I think Pulisic's still our most talented player, but like our second and fifth most talented players both play the same position. So it's weird to be in this situation where like obviously I hope Pulisic's healthy and on a heater when he comes to the World Cup, but like I'm not that concerned if he has to miss a game. Whereas someone like Tyler Adams, look, Kellen Acosta was really good the other day. Kellen Acosta, he's not a Tyler Adams level defensive midfielder. Tyler Adams is just so crucial to everything this team does. I think Weston McKennie is as well. So it's which is a long way of saying or answering the question that it's just not much of an adjustment if Pulisic can't go.
What's up, Shadow BCFC? Says, can't wait to play against you in the World Cup. It's a black flag. What do you think the black flag? That's got to be Wales, right? Feels like Wales? I don't know. Burn Mike Burn. What up, man? Haji didn't bring anything to get involved. He says, Jesus will at least drop deep and get on the ball some if he's not getting any service.
I wouldn't hate seeing both these guys, right? Like maybe go to like a weirdo 2 up top type of thing, or maybe even play.
Shadows from England, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
How's the Hungry game today, man?
Maybe play Jesus in that sort of attacking midfield role and see if he can do that and see if he could link with Haji a little bit better. I would like to see another at least 20 minutes of Haji Wright. I know he hasn't done anything, but like it's just been such a short run out for him in this game and in this camp so far. Even if it means changing the formation a little bit and going with 2 up top, I just want to see more.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Fetterberger. I don't know what a Fetterberger is, but I appreciate that you're here, man. I think he was a little frustrated with us. Says we were blaming it was a shame on that goal. Horvath or Reggie Cannon had a little bit of back and forth on that, but hope you're having a good night, Fetterberger. Why for Yannick TV, I want to say. Yannick TV, glad you're here on Twitch. Says it was the defending 100% at fault on the U.S. goal. Of course, that goal given up on a cross. Schross goal, cross. Well, I don't know what that was. It was like a driven cross that drifted inside the post on Horvath. He was rooted to the ground. Ardo 5's been here. We appreciate you, man. It's your boy, Will. Says Horvath could have saved that from the position that he was in. And we've got Natoyo coming in. Natoyo, are you from El Salvador, man? Let us know. Let us know where you're at. Jack Shiz 97 wants a summary of the game. Just got home from work. So we're going to show you the goal right here, Jack Shiz 97. So boom, you're into it. And we'll show you the goal. And Doyle, give us a summation here. I mean, it's conditions, trying, tough, difficult, a little bit of a mud patch going on. It's been raining for days in El Salvador. It's raining throughout this game, so you can understand why the field isn't holding up. But as far as the soccer we've seen from the U.S. and El Salvador, what do you got?
It hasn't been a lot of soccer. Like even El Salvador, who were relentless about playing on the ground and trying to build through everything in qualifying, they're just kind of lumping the ball into channels, trying to win second balls, and they caught the U.S. on the back foot. And Reggie Cannon didn't do a good job of closing Larine down, and Ethan Horvath was cheating badly and got exposed. And now it's just a test of will and intensity from the U.S. to see if they can dig themselves out of this hole. And it's not going to be a pretty goal if it happens, right? It's going to end up being a foul, a set piece, maybe some sort of scrum in the box. And those are the kinds of goals that U.S. teams traditionally have found a way to score. Those are the types of goals that this team has not scored a ton of yet. And it's understandable. They're a super young team. As we've all said, there's no clear definitive number 9, and number 9s are the guys who usually score those goals. So in that way, it's going to end up being a pretty good test in the second half.
So it turns out Natoyo is Salvadorian. So what's up, man? You're probably feeling pretty good at halftime. CONCACAF Nations League in Group A going pretty well for you so far. You got the live standings up at the left-hand box here, everybody. El Salvador 7 points from 3 matches. That is if the 1-0 holds. The U.S. would be on 3. Of course, the goal differential would all be from Grenada as well. And the Grenada at the bottom. It's Tony. R703 says condition of the field has to be playing a factor. And so what's up, Tony? Wirchin again is Weah risking his USMNT career by remaining at Lille, especially when they've slumped to mid-table mediocrity.
Why do we even Why do you even justify that by asking that question?
I don't know. You can slam it down if you want. It's up to you.
I think Charlie.
Yeah,
gives
Yeah.
it a
I'm blocking that like Mutombo. I mean,
Knocking it down, huh?
he proved himself throughout World Cup qualifying. Literally proved himself. He's not going anywhere. And the way he finished the season at Lille, I think would give anyone reason to believe that there's a future there for him, and that the coach will believe in him, considering next year, especially if Jonathan David gets sold. And so it's an incredible league. The competition is super high, not only when you're playing week to week against these top teams, but also the youth that they produce. Lille, and in his training environment, just being there, it's a great place to be. You would only leave Lille if you're going to a phenomenal situation where you're guaranteed, and we all know nothing's guaranteed, a real consistent playing time, and in a top league where you're playing, probably in Europe every year.
You got to leave for that Premiership money. That's what it is, Charlie. Those EPL bucks.
But what Premier League team is going to come in for him when he's not playing?
Charlie was trying to flip that show. He was trying to score some goals. He's just like, I'm gonna get these 2.5 years. I'm about to go get that coin.
Yeah, I was on my way.
Stupria says if we go false 9 way up top is worth a look. I don't know if he would necessarily be false 9 only. He might be more of a traditional striker at times than Jesus might be. But we're glad to have you here, Stuperius. I'm thinking that's it. Johnny B 83, Stephen Fry next. Actually, Stephen Fry now. Johnny B 83. Pretty sure he is in the midst of being up 2-0. Raul Ruiz-Diaz, who Peru could have used with a goal for Seattle. The Sounders up 2-0 against Vancouver tonight in MLS action at Lumen Field. So a little Cascadia, and Steph Fry is indeed in net. So if you'd like to go check that out, feel free to do so. Checking out the YouTube comment section, the Twitch section. We're getting ready for the second half to start here.
Can we talk about Jamaica, Mexico?
Go ahead, talk about it.
1-1. I mean,
and Rock.
Tata Martino.
Let's go.
Not
second
really
half.
Impressing the people anymore.
Fuera. I just wanted to yell it. Bago Nipples is here watching with us on Twitch. I know. just said it to get Doyle's reaction. I could just see that little mini eye roll from you. He's trying to watch on Paramount Plus, can't find it. Bago Nipples, I believe you need to head over to FS1 or 2-Day In. I want to say the home matches maybe are on Paramount Plus, or used to be. I don't know, Charlie. You'd know more about the Paramount Plus life. But the Moobot has just jumped in and let you know FS1 or Univision. Sup, bra, says Bag of Nipples. Shadow BCFC is scouting right now. He says it's going to be USA 3, El Salvador 1. What do we think about that final scoreline? What do you put your fake dinero where your mouth is here? Put your poncho money where your mouth is. What's the final score?
I think the U.S. find an equalizer. I think it ends 1-1.
1-1. We getting a win for the U.S., Charlie? They split the points in Cuscatlán.
I'm always optimistic and positive. I'm going to go 1-1.
Oh, man. I'm gonna be even more optimistic. I'm gonna say 2-1. I believe. Let's see. Weston McKennie is on for the U.S. By the way,
he hit an amazing ball already.
Jesus Ferreira is diagonal. On too. Weston changes things. His attitude, his directness. He just and we're not seeing him in like peak form by any means either. Obviously, but if I'm playing Weston on a field like this, I'm expecting to get run over and driven like a foot into the ground. McKinney on Dear Soccer God says, Sazzy, no injuries, please. Yes, that would be nice. We have a question here from Mike Burn again. He's stuck in on the number 9, as we all are, I think. What does Jesus have to do to become our definitive number 9? Score tonight, start in the next international window, score a few next window. Like, what makes it definitive, Charlie, that he's the dude and we're not sort of stuck in this debate?
That every time he suits up, he's banging a goal or two. That's the reality for
You're not an XG guy.
no.
Let's say
I'm
he's
not an
averaging.
XG.
Let's say Charlie, he's averaging. I don't know, a goal every 140 minutes for the U.S. So like one every 2 games. His XG is off the chart, so he's getting a ton of chances, and the players around him are better with him in the field than off the field because he drops in. He has an eye for a pass. He gets into good positions to create shots that might not score, but maybe they're coming back for rebounds or for corner kicks or for other opportunities. Even in that situation, you're going to say no.
I mean, it depends how the results are, because if you're doing that and the U.S. is still losing, then what good is that ultimately, right? So, I think Jesus Ferreira, if he can continue to improve, if we continue to see progress, and I'll go back to, it's not the work rate. He has the work rate, which I think Greg Berhalter loves. That's what he loves about Jesus Ferreira, is he's active, the work rate, the press. He's willing to commit himself for the team. Great. He checks back. He gets in between the lines. But if you're a 9, you also have to run in behind. In the first game, when we saw him playing against Uruguay and Morocco, what I loved about him was he was making those runs in behind. He's changed the narrative of he only checks back. Great. But I will say one of the biggest deficiencies of his game right now is the hold-up play. But that can be developed. People told me I could never hold up the ball too. And I had to get better at that. It was a process. But then I got to a point where it didn't matter what center back I was playing against, whether it was Puyol or Lucio or the top center back in Sweden or France. I knew if that ball was coming to me, I could hold it up. You could play it to me, to the air, to my chest, to my feet. It did not matter. And I think Jesus Ferreira has the potential to do that, but he still has to get better at that. And I like what he's done with his game. If you're talking about 2 years ago of watching Jesus Ferreira when he first broke into the U.S. men's national team, I thought,
what a ball.
Wow, really young. He'll get there, but he's steadily making progress. So I'm encouraged with where he is right now. And I think if he continues on this path,
Weston outside the
see
right foot after Jesus rounds the keeper, cleared off the line, 2 El Salvador players back. But that whole sequence, Doyle, is why Weston is like,
Yeah.
he has to be on the field.
yes.
Yeah.
Picks the ball up off the back line, creates like the imbalance and the space to drive forward. The outside of the right foot ball on this surface, wow.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
He's the second or third guy on the team sheet for me, only behind Tyler Adams. And one of the weird thing that's happened, and I'm just going to call them out, it's because of Sam and Paul over at Allocation Disorder, is there's this perception that Weston is not the can't unlock a defense, is not on occasion a visionary passer, and like that just couldn't be further from the truth. It's one of the best qualities of his game is that he sees and connects those risky passes, which is why 2 separate managers at Juventus have basically created a position for him, right? They're not dropping him deeper into midfield and asking him to progress the ball. They're putting him in the final third and asking him to be a guy who unlocks a defense, who makes late arriving runs, who combos around the box and that sort of thing. And we're seeing some of that so far in his 6.5, 7 minutes now of the second half. And it's also part of what's interesting about this switch to the double pivot, because Weston is arguably more comfortable playing in the pocket than he is playing as a ball progressor, which is what the position really was during qualifying. But whatever it is, with a single or double pivot, 10 or ball progressor, he's out there from the jump, 90 minutes every game for as long as he's able to go.
It's set pieces. It's the level of intensity. It just feels like things get a little bit more urgent when he's on the field. I'm pretty sure, by the way, that the El Salvador fans, Salvadoreños, have found our YouTube live chat.
Oh, hell yeah.
And are having a pretty good time with the fact that the score is 1-0 right now. Mern Blossom, what's up, man? Or not, or woman, whatever it might be. McKinney is clearly the most dominant U.S. player. He said he's the player that could get into the England first 11. That's an interesting question. How many players could get in the England 11 from the U.S.?
Well, I mean, Turner's much better than Ramsdale.
I missed it. Anders got in my ear at the exact moment that was said.
He said Turner is much better than Ramsdale.
That was the exact joke that Anders made. So that's just a brain meld, just a ish posting brain meld between Doyle and Anders right now. You guys are just the level
Anders was
just
Anders
an elite level, just an elite level.
Anders would say Rui Diaz is better than Harry Kane at this point. So, the answer to that question is
Shadow BCFC, who is English, says everyone is better than Ramsdale. So, Fetterberger, you don't have to leave, man. You can stick around. You can stay. Don't worry. Should you think McKinney could move, or is he just Juventus? They're locked in.
He's not moving this year.
He gets a little Paul Pogba in his midfield now too, huh? That sounds fun.
It does sound fun.
You know, it's even more fun for Juventus. Selling Paul Pogba for like 9 figures and then getting him back on a free. That sounds fun. That's better. That's definitely better than the Poncho game. Like that. That worked out pretty well, huh? We got the changes on screen for you right now, by the way, for the U.S. Jesus Ferreira in, Weston McKennie in. We got the MMA midfield going on. Jack Shiz, 97. What's up, man? How's it going? Diana Iraeta is really getting it in right now. I have a Marvin Iraeta Chivas USA kit, an authentic. That's from way back in the day. Do you think this? Do you think that moment for Ethan Horvath? How much do you think that hurt him?
Well, it didn't help him, and what he needs is help. I don't think he's really going to go any further down than 3 in the pecking order, just because of that Nations League performance. That I think that'll always resonate with Greg Berhalter and the team. And he's a good person. So he was trying to help himself to climb up. And I don't think he did that at all.
Wait, so you don't think he can drop below 3? So you don't think that there's a chance that Sean Johnson or Gaga Splonina could end up coming as the 3rd goalkeeper?
There's always a chance, but I'd say right now he's the 3rd. And I think there's still a good bit of distance between him and Sean John. And
really,
Selena,
despite the fact that he's, I mean, you're talking about 3 goalkeepers potentially who are backups.
Yeah.
Horvath has been a backup for years.
Yeah, that doesn't change anything.
That would be shocking to me. That would be shocking to me.
Is it shocking that you had a backup as your number 1, regardless of who was playing underneath him?
A little bit.
You had MLS goalkeeper of the year versus someone who doesn't play at all, and he was still your 1.
Yeah, but there's a difference. There's a difference between Stefan being one of the best goalkeepers in MLS and being a goalkeeper for Greg Berhalter at club level, and Greg knowing exactly what he can get from him, having a relationship with him, and
he's still not playing.
Versus fair, but Man City's a little bit different. No disrespect to Nottingham Forest, but Mern Blossom. Yeah, we care about the 3rd goalkeeper, man. Anybody going to the World Cup, we care about. It matters. We did have an interesting. Where was he at? Where's my guy here? Oh yeah, Chillin Chong late to the party. Where's Walker Zimmerman? Zimmerman picked up an injury, so he's not in this match, but he is the number 1 center back, I think, pretty clearly by far at this point. And also getting free babysitting in U.S. camp, by the way.
Yeah,
bringing the kid on the road. Got to respect it. Oh yeah. Okay, Thrask. This is for you, Doyle. What's up, man? He's on Twitch. I've been seeing people chattering about Paxton Pomacle's performance this year. When he says people, he means Doyle. Do you think he ever wears a U.S. shirt again?
I'm sure he'll get a look, probably next year if he stays healthy. But I don't think he has any chance of getting into the group for Qatar. I think if it was going to happen, it would have been this camp. The only two spots where I could see guys sort of coming out of the blue and winning a role are, oh man, this is a nice buildup. Oh. The only two spots where I can see guys coming out of the blue and winning a role are number 9 and backup left back, because the backup left backs have been
beautiful.
so
Did he finish?
unconvincing.
Oh, you're ahead of me.
Yeah, I'm about 10
Yunus
seconds ahead.
Musa, what a wonderful build-up for the U.S. But this goes back to what we're talking about Weston McKennie. It's not just the recognition of like a backline breaking pass. It's a recognition of when to lay the ball off and move and run. And when he makes that run in midfield, he runs away from people. Oh, God, what a save that is. Yunus Musa, head in hands. Very, very frustrated here. Zin1B, what's up, man? Did I miss the U.S. World Cup qualifiers? You did. He's just returning from outside the soccer scene and has found us on Twitch. Yes, you missed the octagonal. It was somewhat nervous at the end, but it's what needed to happen. U.S. are in the World Cup. Oh, here you go. Oh, yeah, speaking of, we can show the World Cup group to you here at any minute. We can tell you exactly who the U.S. is going to play. It is going to be Wales, Iran, and England in that order in the World Cup. So you see England gets Iran to start. U.S. has Wales. Then it's Wales, Iran, England, U.S. Oh, yeah, I had it wrong. And then Iran, U.S. at the end on the 29th of November. Try to get Scotland in our group, just the British Isles. Stuporius, I don't even know what Elden Ring is. Anybody here know what Elden Ring is?
It's a video game.
I was going to say, if anybody knew, it would be Doyle. He says he enjoys us being on Twitch, so we appreciate that, man. Do we think Christian will leave Chelsea? That's a big topic of conversation in the chats tonight.
What do you think, Charlie?
I think not at the moment. A new American owner, he's not going anywhere. Now, I get that he maybe doesn't see eye to eye with Thomas Tuchel, because I feel that he is the scapegoat in that system. He's always the first player taken out of the lineup if things aren't going well. He's always the first sub if the team's not performing. So I think Thomas Tuchel knows he can do that to Christian, and he's not going to change his mentality. He's still going to go and fight, where maybe if he does that with another player, they put the head down and they lose their confidence and they're out for a long period of time. So I think to his detriment, because Thomas Tuchel has worked with him for so long, that he is unfortunately that guy. So I know he's at Chelsea. I know it's a massive club. I would like to see him get a move for that reason, so he can get the consistent minutes that he deserves, and he's not necessarily the fall guy.
If Everton sell
Richarlison,
and that opens up a chance for them to spend big on a replacement, and obviously I think Pulisic's best performances with Chelsea came when Lampard was a manager. And look, Everton's not competing to even make the top 4. It's a step down in terms of the type of club it is. It could be a step up in terms of the type of responsibility Pulisic sort of shoulders.
Would you trust Lampard?
No, not really. But I think Pulisic does.
I don't know if he does. I mean, Lampard made him work. I thought it was clear and obvious with some of Christian's performances that, hey, you got to play him. And there would be times where he didn't. It took him a long time to say, all right, I've given in. But we've seen what he's done with Everton. I mean, how much did he spend on the I'm blanking on his name from Tottenham, who wasn't playing so much.
Oh, Dele Alli.
Yeah, didn't play him.
Yeah.
So I would not trust Lampard, to be honest.
We have Chillin Chong. I don't know if you guys saw from Greg, like the very ginger step on the sideline. Chillin Chong is speculating that he's got to keep the kicks white. You think Greg went with the? You think Greg went with the like the off whites tonight or whatever it might be, whatever he goes with? I don't know. This doesn't seem like.
Yeah,
Doesn't seem like
I wouldn't doubt it.
You want to strap up with the rain boots, Greg. Like, come on, man. They got to make somebody's got to make a designer version of those. How much? From Iran, I haven't seen them play. I just sort of, as with every team in the world, just sort of tracked qualifying, and I think they finished the top in Asia. What do we know about Iran and what we might see there? My understanding is they do try to play. At least they did in qualifying.
They are a lot more open than they ever were under Carlos Queiroz, who was manager there for a while. I think 2 cycles he was the manager with them. They come out and play. They have a lot of skillful guys. They're more they're sort of like overbalanced in terms of like all attack. So I think that game has a chance to be pretty open, which is, I think that would suit the U.S. better, to be honest with you. But you never know. Managers can change in the World Cup, and that's especially true in the third game of a group stage where maybe nobody's ticket is punched yet, and there's a chance to sort of back your way in, or sort of smash and grab a result, and that. So I wouldn't be shocked if Iran looked like the 2018 version of themselves, even though for the past 4 years they've been a much more expansive team than that.
Find a happy place, put down the bleach, buddy. Like, it's all good. I'll just leave it at that. And Loco V1 CIO, Loco V. I don't know how to sound that out, man. Pepe's not here. As Charlie sort of eloquently put it and delicately put it, he did not earn his place into the squad. Things at Augsburg have not gone as one might want. They did stay up in the Bundesliga, but Pepe didn't score a goal, correct?
Correct. He hasn't scored since October. He literally has not scored a goal since October. It's
been a hot second. Still 1-0 El Salvador right now, 65 minutes in. Welcome to the chat. By the way, we're just talking about Iran. We will be here for every U.S. and Canada game on Twitch and YouTube Live all the way through the World Cup. So if you're thinking about, what am I going to be doing when the U.S. plays Iran? What am I going to do when they play Wales? I like having the second screen up. We'll be here chatting, talking with you, reacting, hopefully having some goals to go crazy for. Obviously, we'll be much more nervous during the fall in Qatar, a little bit more on edge. But, we'll be back for that. So put it on your schedule. All right. Update me, Charlie. Where's your mind at with this game right now?
It's stale for me right now. I mean, we've seen some good actions from Yunus Musa in particular, but again, it's the lack of execution, and so it gives me hope that he can be that guy, playing the 1-2s, getting into the box, getting in that position. But you got to finish. You have to. The whole goal is there for you. This was going to always be a difficult game. El Salvador come to play against the U.S., and they're tactically set up to make this a difficult game. And then you throw in the pitch. But both teams have to play on it, and El Salvador has the goal playing on this pitch. So I would just like to see them pick up the urgency a little bit more.
Doyle, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, stale is a good way of putting it. The second half has definitely been better than the first half for the U.S. McKennie has made just a huge difference. I think Ferreira has been much more involved than Wright as well, and those two things combined have given the game a little bit more form and function. they've also switched back to a single pivot. Musa and McKennie are both playing kind of on the same line and doing a little bit of ball progression and a little bit of attacking as well. I like the single pivot better than the double pivot. Even with Tyler's shortcomings, limitations as a ball progressor. But I got to tell you, Wiebe, I'm still in the same headspace that I've been since the first minute, which is like, I just hope everybody comes out of this healthy, because this field is an absolute disaster at this point. And, I know the players aren't thinking of it like this, but like, I do not care about the final score. I just want everyone to come out and no trips to the infirmary after this.
We've got a Nations League title.
Yeah,
we got one. We'd like to have them all, no doubt about that, and there'll be more to come, more games to come, more opportunities.
This isn't goodbye to the Nations League if they lose this game.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like this is live to fight another day.
Yep.
So oh my God, I mean, it's just Weston's balance and then the quality to connect that pass and switch the field in that moment. Like, he was hurt and we had to play without him for a while, and it's easy to sort of not move on, but sort of start to forget sometimes what individual players bring at the international level, just because it's so rare that you get to see the team play together. But God, he is fun. I see a bleach blonde guy on the pitch who's closing down every single ball. That's got to be Paul Areola on.
Well, you're not going to see him on the pitch much longer.
Oh no, that was a high. Ah. Oh no. Chris and Pulisic not happy about that one. Red card comes out. There is no VAR in Nations League, I don't believe. So. Woof. So it definitely looked high, but it didn't look like he connected. Chat, tell us what you think.
One word, CONCACAF.
Instant replay. Tell us what you think. Did not look like a red on first look to me.
That's all I got to say. CONCACAF.
Did not look like a red. Let's see. We got the replay coming right now. Adam sort of gets the ball poked away. Never in a million years is that a red card. What in God's name? What in God's name is that call? That's just no. First of all, not enough force. Second of all, that looks to me, Charlie, like it is. Dr. Joe's on. I can't hear him, but it looks to me like that is not bottom of the boot. That's top of the boot. That's like laces area that the contact comes from. I could see you getting fooled a little bit from behind, but okay. Collective says that's not even a foul. Collective, that is a foul. That part is true and fair, but that's not a red to me. What do you think, Charlie?
No, it's not. It's not a red. It's not a red card. You could say reckless.
Yeah, for sure.
At most,
I think
reckless.
I would be more than fine with yellow. I would not argue it at all. But I don't think there's justification for a red card there. No. I mean, in 1987, dude, there's no studs on that play. That's not the stud. Watch it again. That's the top of the boot. Is it a little bit high? Yes, but the force, not excessive. I personally don't think that's endangering the safety either. Again, because the force. But we're turning this into instant replay. God, who was the idiot that said 2-1 US at the beginning of this half? God, what a moron. Needs to get back in the poncho business. Yeah, Mern Blossom. Yeah, recklessness. That's the definition of yellow. So it is about the studs. It is about the force. That's what makes it a yellow card, because there's not the force. It's got to be excessive force to be a red card. But yes, Stasi is right. It was funny. The the large brown streak across Areola's buttocks after that one. We got the video on screen if you want to see it. Bag of Nipples is apparently not a soccer fan. Video review is in almost all parts of the world. Was in the latter half of CONCACAF qualifying. Is not in Nations League, though. Spam artist Diana. It was not a red. Not in a just world.
Oh, no. Is Tyler Adams hurt?
This is...
stepped on his wrist.
He's going to have to tape it up like Benzema. Oof.
Free kick opportunity. US, Long, CCV, both up. I don't even think we said Aaron's his name once on this show. But these are moments where Long can affect the game. I think he's at 2 goals already in MLS. Back post. Yunus Musa couldn't quite get to it. Yes, Weirchin, we've already explained to you via the rule book why that is not a red card. It doesn't matter that if you don't win the ball and you take somebody out. It doesn't just make it a red card, man. We walked you through it. Gave you the verbiage. Go check the IFAB rules. Do you launder these jerseys afterwards, or you just throw them away? I'm just being real here. Like, I feel like it's a one wear.
Yeah, you're not really keeping them after this. You might give it to a fan. You might
I would take a splatter. I'd take a, this is like a little bit of modern art aspect to it. Like a little Jackson Pollock US jersey. We're beefing. Ooh, Darwin Sarin in the middle. It's beef. There's beef. We got pushing and shoving. Let's go. Referee lost control.
Remember, Darwin Sarin is a guy who literally bit a U.S. national team player in a scrum once upon a time. So,
Tyler Adams throwing some, a little bow thrown. People are riled. People are pissed. Yellow card for Tyler. Yellow card came out to somebody else. You got 3 referees in the scrum. Let's see. Let's get a little replay of what happened here. So they're fighting for it. Tyler's pulling. Maybe a little arm thrown. No, but then Tyler just spiked him. And then here comes Christian. Got a little bump with the right shoulder, but then nothing. Weston pushed down 14. Yeah, got a couple pushes in on Christian Martinez. Here comes there's Aaron Long. Looks like Weston got Christian got a yell out of this one. Looks like for the little pop in the back. Meanwhile, on the other side, El Salvador goes down, has a shot, pushes it over. I mean, I don't know how you don't get in a little scuffle playing on this field. Inevitably, there's going to be something that happens. Just, like the lack of body control at times, ability to stop, and just the frustration.
Oh, Weston, my word.
When he gets into that stride, oh. Just imagine, he could have just been wasted at Schalke for all time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, let's go back and see the Musa chants just for the giggles here as we wait for the U.S. to get the inevitable goal that'll make Charlie and Doyle gloat on. Yeah, this is probably the best chance of the match for the U.S. Yunus Musa on a beautiful bit of combination play. We got a 3-on-2 for El Salvador. Nope, blocked. Well done. It's like Jedi got back to shut that one down. All right, I can't agree, Marin Blossom. The U.S. players need to be more cool for the World Cup. Oh, wow. Yunus Musa.
Yeah, red card.
Another one?
Yep. I mean, it was a dog show.
Oh, yep. Is Yunus okay?
Yeah, I think he's fine.
I mean, that dude, the burst is unbelievable. He just runs away from people. But that's some good.
His face is covered in mud.
I say that's a good. Did you see the teammate moment from Jesus?
Yeah.
Jesus came over, got the jersey, picked it up. He's wiping his face for him.
I think Yunus Musa is like, what's in this mud?
Well, actually, they did say that there was a so there's a lot of things going into this field. There was a concert apparently on the field very recently, and the U.S. when they trained had found some lingering debris, so to speak, from the concert. So maybe there's an aspect to that.
Jeez.
Looks like Adams is off. Luca De La Torre, you're getting your Luca De La Torre Musa
pairing, yeah. Charlie getting his wish.
And or is CCV off? I can't quite tell. Jordan Morris is definitely on.
De La Torre and Morris are on. I think Carter Vickers and Adams are off. I think.
Oh, this is Zazzy with on Twitch here. Musa might be my favorite player, but he's got a bit of Kyrie Shelton in him. That drawing a red might be more beneficial than him shooting. That's uncalled for, Zazzy. That's just wrong.
Kyrie Shelton just got a stray for no reason.
That's just wrong. Save on the free kick. U.S. out for the corner. 80th minute here, as you see on the screen. 1-0 El Salvador. Pushing. We're down.
It's a pretty
we're
good
back
free kick, by the way.
Yeah, we're 10 on 10 now. This is also a big opportunity for Morris as well, who might be in a better spot if it goes to 26, but still might be a little bit on the bubble. Can he make a difference in a game like this? Here's the other red card for you if you missed it on the screen. Famous Nay you can watch on FS1 and 2 Day In. So FS1 and 2 Day In the U.S. Famous Nay on YouTube. Looks like Morris he's up top in the middle, and Jesus is more in the.
It looks like it. Yeah, it looks like Jordan's playing as a 9, and Ferreira's sort of out wide on the right.
Another free kick opportunity. Foul 1, Luca De La Torre. Man, those jerseys don't stay white for long. Call for a stretcher. We got a stretcher. Yep. Change for El Salvador. Anything in the chat you guys want us to talk about while we wait for the change to be made? Anders is watching the Sounders game on a different screen. He says Rui Diaz just hit the bar from 35. Is there? Sorry, Ladero. Is there? Why is Rui Diaz not in the Peru team?
Because he just does not perform for them.
Really?
He's got like 2 goals and 40 appearances.
Yikes. Okay, well that's a reason. It was hard to watch that game, and obviously what we've seen from him in CONCACAF and in MLS, and be like, wait, what?
Yeah, he's got 4 goals and 50 appearances. The last time he scored for them was 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Twitch chat, Charlie says that you must accept Musa as a lock.
Yeah.
Johnny B83.
Who said I don't accept him as a lock?
Oh, 3D chess. Seems like Luca Del Toro is going to get a move too, huh? Because Hercules they were relegated?
Yeah.
Yep. I will tell you this. The same person who told me a month ago that Dyla was going to be the next coach at Standard Liège also said at that time that De La Torre was going to, like, that Liège was the most likely landing spot for De La Torre. That'd be a good move. The Belgian league is better than the Dutch league right now.
That would be a good move.
And like it's a jumping off. But if he has 2 good years there, then he'll move to France or the Bundesliga. I love this move for him if it comes off, especially because look, Ronnie Dyla values players with his skill set. We saw like how much he brought out of Keaton Parks with NYCFC. He could do better than that with De La Torre, because I think De La Torre is just a more talented, all around athlete. So that, like, I would love it if he ended up in Belgium with that team.
Will Dees on Twitch wants to know what concert was held last at the Cuscatlan, and I am here to tell you that on Saturday, June 11th, 2022, Alejandro Fernandez played at Cuscatlan, and it is not a mosh pit style concert. I believe Alejandro Fernandez appears to be a more traditional.
Was there.
Yeah, like a more traditional sort of vocalist. I think I would describe him as, just based on image here. But if anybody is a familiar or fan of Alejandro, please let us know what was going on at Cuscatlan. But later on this year, Cuscatlan will play host to Karol G, big one there, Daddy Yankee, and Bad Bunny.
Ooh.
So they get some real, get the party started at the Cuscatlan.
Daddy Yankee.
Bad Bunny, man. Bad Bunny's he's a worldwide superstar here.
He's a bad bunny.
Do you think there's anybody in this camp, because this is the final sort of game here, that played themselves off the roster? Like, let's say for September.
Can we take a look at Yunus Musa's socks?
I mean, look,
he's supposed to be white.
Credit to El Salvador for going with the dark blues on all fronts. I think they had a pretty good idea of what they were about. Basophilia, I think if all the strikers are in form coming to the World Cup, who starts? And I guess that means Pepe's scoring in Germany. Well, Charlie, what would it'd be Pepe for you?
Yeah, if Pepe's playing in the Bundesliga and scoring and getting consistent minutes, he will, in my opinion, will be your most likely starter in Qatar. But that's a big what if. So, you know,
Handball. Mono. Oh, come on.
They give it or no?
They did not give it.
Oh my
Oh.
god, that is
I thought
video
you were giving
review.
it to
That's
us.
video review. That's 100% mono.
Oh yeah, not even.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
not
gotta
even.
love. You know what? You know one of the best, one of the most frustrating things in the world is the referee just very confidently just shaking his head after what was a pretty clear handball. Like I don't always love the way the handball law is applied now and the changes that have been made. You know, basically, put your hand in a position like that. It doesn't matter how close the deflection is or whatever it might be. But if your arm is out in an unnatural position in the box, you got to pay for it. But man, let's see that cross in from the left side, sort of like driven, floated, back post. I mean, that's just a handball. It's just a blatantly obvious handball. Well then.
Yep, that's a handball. And of course, it comes off the goal scorer's hand too. Loreen.
Who's the fringe player, chat, that you want going to Qatar? The guy that people are like, maybe not, or has he played his way out, or is he really going to be there? I mean, we're up to 26. Don't all say Christian Roldan at once, but
oh, I knew that was going to be put out there.
Nobody said that.
With
It was a joke.
No, Anders is pushing you right now.
Oh,
he's pushing every button.
He did tell me to ask about the fringe players, so
He
you
said
can blame him for that.
He said Roldan and Jordan Morris, like they're both in. He said Zach Steffen also in. I mean, Stephen Fry also in. I think.
This could be a huge win for Hugo and El Salvador.
Huge.
Future DC United coach.
Tell him, Doyle. I would say.
What a save!
Let's speak it into his dude. Yeah, look. By the way, Mario Gonzalez has been pretty legit in this game.
There have been players who haven't helped.
Oh, Jordan Morris.
Did he get it done? Oh, knocked it away. Come on, J-Mo. I'm still behind you, so I'm waiting for it. But now I know. Please let it be a goal and not a bad miss. Go! Ho, ho, ho. Are you there yet, Charlie?
No.
Are you? Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh,
let's go.
Great adjustment on the cross from Jordan Morris.
They're jacked. They're jacked. I love how much they're celebrating this. Here comes Greg to get in on it too. He said, one more. Get up. Get back. Go. 6 minutes of stoppage. We got time. Get it. There's nothing. You know what? By the way, there's nothing like you could like strip everything else away. It could just be one of those, like motion models. I know exactly what Jordan Morris looks like after he scores a goal when he does the little the jog. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The kind of like little bouncy jog, very broad-shouldered jog, barely any arm motion on that.
Absolutely beasted Loreen right there.
Yeah, he just
coming across.
Musa went over to offer him a part of his jersey to wipe his face off after he got buried. I don't know if you saw that.
But a fantastic ball from De La Torre.
Yeah, really good.
So,
really,
I like that.
Yeah, Thrast, you're with me, man. 2-1 scoreline, not looking so outlandish now. Come on, Greg. That's right. We need the 2-1. Let's go.
1-1.
Is Morris back on the plane? We got some questions about that in there. People have jumped on the Vamos Twitch stamp thing. After I didn't know what Elden Ring is, they're really going to get on me here. Yeah, Chillin' Chong. Yes, he's right. It's like Jordan Morris is carrying a bucket while jogging. That's right. Arms arms kind of up and held in place. Yeah, that's a good one. Well done.
You guys are messed up.
I'm just trying to go play golf with Jordan and Christian Roldan someday. The Aaron Long Pulisic Roldan threesome on the golf course in Austin. Man, needed to be the fourth there. I really needed to know who went lower. Oh, get by him. Good tackle.
I'll tell you what, I could have done without 6 minutes of stoppage time.
Fetterberger, and they're debating what this final score will be, I believe. Fetterberger says, I'll stick with the hairy guy on the left. And Doyle, unfortunately for you, I think based on the...
Oh, what a goal. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, damn it. Doyle's ahead of us, isn't he? And so is Charlie.
I didn't think they'd be able to do it. Wow.
Now you're just playing with me. I know you too well, Charlie. That was just way too mechanical. That was just far too mechanical on your part. Oh, I didn't think that they would be able to do it. just like a
Oh god, that was a good one.
like those toy monkeys playing a drum. Just ha 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 ha. '94th minute here. Basophilia, we're at 14 right now, man. We're at a 14. We're struggling off the tee. Too many balls out of play. It's tough times.
Tough times.
All right, we're going to do a post-game show quick for everybody, and that'll go up on YouTube as well. Our big takeaway from the game, plus the big takeaway from the camp at large. Yeah, Shoop WTF says, Charlie, we already have CONCACAF. We don't need you trolling us too.
Yeah. It's because I'm behind these guys are giving me the what's gonna happen. I'm like, come on. It's actually a phenomenal goal from Jordan Morris. I'm pumped for him.
The whole sequence that led to the Morris goal, it started with a corner kick. It started with a set piece. The U.S. they don't win enough in dangerous spots against CONCACAF teams, especially. It's such a weapon.
IMEM 1987, which is probably Anders' like fifth or sixth burner in these chats. Good night for Sounders fans. Up 3-0. Jordan Morris scoring. Is Christian hurt, or was he just not part of this?
Go ahead, Anders.
Yeah, let me know. Just let me know. Just get in my ear. Sounds like he might be hurt, or maybe not. Just not being selected. Anders says he hasn't been dressing. So,
Oh, contract refusal. He wants more years.
Ball game. 1-1.
1-1. All right, that's the ball game, folks. We're going to do a quick post-game show here. Thanks for tuning in. We'll do these for every single game. The 2 friendlies in September, as well as all the World Cup games. That goes for the U.S. as well as Canada. We'll be on Twitch and YouTube Live. So, we'll stick around, jump in the comments, tell us what we should talk about. But we're going to do a quick post-game show, then get on out of here. Let you guys enjoy your night. We're going to get together tomorrow, though, by the way, to do a YouTube Club and Country, basically an update on what's going on with the U.S. and Canada and what happened in this windows for some bigger takeaways. So I'll be ready for that as well. All right, final score, El Salvador, U.S., Estadio Cuscatlán. It was 1-1, U.S. with a late goal from Jordan Morris after giving up one to Alexander Larin. We can talk about who maybe was at fault for that one. I'm Andrew Wiebe, Matt Doyle, Charlie Davies, little takes from this 1-1 draw in Nations League for the U.S., a big result for El Salvador. Let's start with you, Doyle. What's your big takeaway from this game?
No injuries. That's it. I mean, given the way the field played and the game played out, got chippy and all that, I am mostly just relieved that none of the U.S. players got injured. Second half, though, they actually came out and they did a good job of meeting the intensity of this El Salvador team, who pretty clearly had taken the first half more seriously. So I think there's reason to be happy with that as well. But 5 months now from the World Cup, like we're getting to the point where any injury could be massively disruptive. Playing on a field like that, I am just super relieved that these guys were all able to walk off.
Is there anything soccer-wise you take away, Charlie? I think we can all agree that no injuries in what is the final game of this get-together for the U.S. is a positive thing. Now it's off to vacation for many and back to MLS for others, with the transfer window opening very, very soon, which could decide some things. But on the field, soccer-wise, I know that the conditions, the torrential rain, the concert that tore the field up, everything going on made it difficult. But do you have any big takes?
I would say that at least they showed resilience to get back in the game and they didn't give up. They got a result on the road in Nations League, but they underperformed. There's nothing more to it. They underperformed. They could play as poor as they did today, considering where they're at when they're at their best, and they still get a result on the road in El Salvador. So, I mean, I think that just goes to show how much quality that they do have, considering that they weren't at their best. Haji Wright was probably the biggest takeaway. Was he didn't help himself in this complete camp. There's a lot of hype around him because the number 9 position has been talked about quite often, with Jesus Ferreira really failing to win people over. And I think if anything, Jesus Ferreira just cemented himself further up the depth chart. He distanced himself from everyone else because his work rate, it's not so much the 4 goals against Grenada that, I guess won everybody over, but I think it's more his mentality and his willingness to work for the team and how he's a selfless guy. He obviously works for the team. He puts everybody first. Everyone's, I guess, shows that he's well received. They appreciate that, and I think if anything, this camp showed me that he's closer to being the starter than we all think.
As we take a look at the goals here in the first half for El Salvador, and the second half late on for Jordan Morris, I'll ask you this, Doyle, and you can take it from this match to the camp overall. It's up to you. Stock up, stock down as far as U.S. players. And it matters because there are only so many opportunities now, only 180 minutes until decisions are made about who goes to the World Cup. And we think it'll be 26, so there are more opportunities than there have been in the past. Whose stock went up in this game or the camp overall to you, and whose stock went down?
I think stock up, Jesus Ferreira, Luca De La Torre. Those are the first 2 who come to mind. And I think that Aaron Long and Cameron Carter-Vickers both had their stock go up. And I know neither was perfect, but it was 4 games and the U.S. allowed 0 goals or 1 goal rather. And they were, those 2 guys were a big part of that. Given the state of the center back depth chart, I think both those guys move themselves a lot closer to being on that plane to Qatar. So I guess I give you 4 stock up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to come up with 4 stock down. One of them will be Ethan Horvath. He got his 1 chance to make an impression, and he certainly did leave an impression. Reggie Cannon stock down as well. I don't think he was as good in either of his games as DeAndre Yedlin was. Haji Wright, unfortunately, stock down. The scouting reports from him on him from Turkey pretty much told the story. So I think those 3 guys probably. Well, I'll also say the left backs, right? George Bello and Joe Scally were both really, really poor. So I think that those are probably the guys who I would pick for stock down.
There you have right now the Group D standings in CONCACAF Nations League after this 1-1 draw at Estadio Cuscatlán. El Salvador, 2 draws and a win. Win against Grenada, draw against Grenada, draw against the United States. Of course, Grenada at the bottom after 3 games played, just a single draw for them, and 2 losses, in the U.S. winning 5-0 in their second match, their first match of Nations League in this iteration against Grenada in second place. Charlie, you asked an interesting question on our stream, and by the way, we're doing streams, whether you're listening live right now or on demand on YouTube. Twitch, YouTube Live for every U.S. and Canada game all the way through the World Cup. So come join us, hang out, ask questions. We have a great time with you. You asked, are you happy with the U.S. right now?
Mm-hmm.
We all said yes. How does this result, this performance make you feel? And does it change anything you thought otherwise during this camp?
For me, it didn't change. Whether they won this game 6-0 or they ended up losing this game 1-0, it really wasn't going to move the needle for me. I think it was more about individual performances. That's what I was really looking into. I mean, and we can look at Nations League results with England. I mean, do we think that they're in trouble? They lost 4-0 to Hungary. I would say no. I don't think anyone in England is really worried about the World Cup when it comes to their chances of finishing atop the group, to be honest. So I think for me, it was really seeing if Cameron Carter-Vickers or Eric Palmer-Brown heading into this camp would kind of stake a claim at the starting spot. And I think Cameron Carter-Vickers did himself well to really put himself into the conversation. And then Haji Wright, unfortunately, didn't take his opportunity to move up the depth chart. And so Jesus Ferreira solidified himself as the one at the moment. I think he only helped himself. Tillman was also one of those players that you're like, oh, really intrigued. Bayern Munich, just not ready yet. Has loads of potential, I think, but he plays a different game. It's really smooth. It's not in a forceful acceleration. The change of pace. It's all kind of one speed, smooth. And I think just at this moment, not quite ready to make a difference for the U.S. In a World Cup. Not to say that couldn't happen in 6 months, but I just don't see it at the moment. Aronson, I think he won't be in the middle of the pitch come World Cup. A lot can change in 6 months with Leeds if he's playing in the 10 role, but I see him being predominantly on the wing, the first super sub, if you will, for Timo Weah, or if it's Gio Reyna or Christian Pulisic on the other side. If there are injuries, whatever, I could see him being someone who comes in. Maybe we need a goal desperately, or it's a draw. It's a level game, and you need someone who's going to come in for the press. Brian Aronson's your guy. So I think those were my biggest questions heading into, or concerns heading into the camp, and I think we got all the answers we needed.
Any final thoughts, Bill? I feel like we've wrapped it up.
Yeah, no, I think we got a lot of answers from this camp. I think we end up walking out of it, though, with two more big questions, or two questions that are still open. The number 9 depth chart, Ferreira's on it. I think odds are he's going to be at the top of it, but I'm still not convinced. And that's something to look for, going forward from here. And backup left back. And I know, it's kind of weird to be worrying about backup left back, but the way Anthony Robinson plays is so crucial for the U.S. creating, width and depth. It's one of the core tenets of positional play. It's you need to have some guy who can occupy that channel in order to open up underneath for our best player, Christian Pulisic. Hopefully it's a non-issue. Hopefully Jedi stays healthy and can play every single minute in Qatar. But if he doesn't, George Bello doesn't look like he's the type of guy who can step in for him. Joe Scally had a really terrible time against Uruguay. So there needs to be someone, maybe it's one of them, because they're both kids and a lot can change in 6 months, 5 months. But we really need someone, a like-for-like sub for Jedi, who could step in and, in case things go wrong, can play 90 minutes at the World Cup. And we don't have that right now.
5 months. There is time, but the clock is ticking. There's only 180 minutes left for the U.S. before they're taking the field against Wales. 2 friendlies in Europe in September. We don't yet know the opponents, but word is they are World Cup squads from AFC, the Asian Confederation. So we will wait for that announcement. And we will wait for those games as well as friendlies for Canada in that period as well. A little bit of an up and down camp for them. A lot going on for the Canadians. They end with a loss to Honduras. The U.S. end with a draw in El Salvador. We will be here for every single match, Twitch, YouTube Live, that the U.S. and Canada play all the way through the World Cup. Join us. Get in the comments sections. Ask us questions. Make some comments. Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy what is a historic year for CONCACAF and for North America in soccer. We'll also be with you on Friday. Check YouTube for the first Club and Country Capsule Show. We'll go through the, we think, 26-man roster for the U.S., who's on, who's off. Talk about all the news coming this summer for players for both the U.S. and Canada and update you on what's going on after these camps. One camp left, and it's a World Cup. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next time. Adios.